Welcome you. Oh my God, I am so excited to have you join you. And I keep saying, welcome you. I am excited to have you join the Struggle Strategy Academy. So I'm just going to dive right in. This video just briefly talks about the objectives that we're going to cover in the 4-week boot camp that you, again, you. Oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you so much for signing up. The 4-week boot camp that you have just signed up for. So in this 4-week academy, we're going to cover a lot. And when I say a lot, it's not so much information that we'll be covering, because we will be covering plenty of information for you to soak in. But the information that we're soaking in, that you're going to be soaking in, it's just a lot, and it covers a big, broad spectrum of your life's purpose. So in this 4-week course, I have a lot planned for you. It consists of us connecting and meeting weekly and all kinds of things, but definitely the things that you will walk away with each week, there is a different objective. So the first week's objective is to identify what struggle is and where you struggle the most. And how we do that is through the method of shadow work. And I'll talk about shadow work later and break it down to you what it is more in depth. And I'm going to be using videos to escort me as well, along with the shadow work. The second week, we're going to talk about identifying why you struggle. Because once we figure out what struggle is and where your struggle is in your life, so say for instance, you're struggling with a broken relationship, letting it go. That's your struggle. So we identify, so you'll learn what struggle is. Then you'll identify where it is. Okay. Then we'll talk about why you struggle. So for me to get to know you and for you to own up to, and that's part of the one of the objectives, is to own up to everything, is to admit everything. Just like in any other addiction group AA meeting, what do? The first thing, hi, my name is Tanya and I'm an alcoholic. You own up to what's going on. And once you do that and you see it in writing and it becomes clear to you, then your mind can begin to shake up in a few areas where it's been stuck and bolted down before. So identify where the struggle is, what struggle is, and identify why you struggle. Now, through that process, we're going to do some inner child healing, and I'll talk about that later as well. Plus, we're going to do some videos to back that up, and more shadow work. Because in identifying your struggles, we have to dig deep and go to the root cause and figure out what's going on, and then go from there. Now, the third week is about taking ownership of your struggle. Now, this ownership, not to say that it's your fault and all of that, and it could very well be. So I'm pretty sure some of the things that you experience are because of your wrong choices. And that's what week 3 is going to talk about. We're going to be clearing chakras. Now, if you're not familiar with chakras, we're going to talk about that later as well. But that is the energy portals and connections to you and the universe. And when those are blocked, our mindsets shut down and the way we operate from our heart and from our spirit changes. So, week 3, we're going to be taking ownership of that struggle. Once we know what it is, where it's coming from, why we do it, then we can begin to next, for the 4th week, rewrite the story that we tell ourselves. So we're going to do all of that through the works of shadow work, cognitive behavior activities and exercises, and we're going to talk about cognitive behavior therapy as well. And all of this is just digging down deep inside those dark places. That's the shadow work. Inner child, where you were wounded as a kid or wounded in the past, and your cognitive behaviors when you untamper the thoughts. We untwist the tampered thoughts in your mind, and we change them and we shape them and we make them differently. So that last week, however, it's a 4-week program, but it's really 5 weeks. But the 5th week is just a review, and that's where we actually sit down and I have a 90-minute strategy call for you set aside where we can sit down and actually apply and map out in a blueprint specifically for you everything that you've gone through with the course. So these are the objectives that we're going to be covering in the boot camp. Again, number one, you're going to identify what struggle is and where you struggle the most. We're going to do that through shadow work and videos. Number two, we're going to identify where you struggle. We're going to do that by digging down deep into the core essence of your problems and figuring out how those thoughts began and where they were shaped. And we're going to do that through inner child healing and videos and shadow work. Then we're going to take ownership of that struggle. That's where you're going to clear the energy that is blocking you from receiving whatever it is that you're seeking and keeping you in that struggled state. And then we're going to map out, then we're going to rewrite that story and rewrite the story that you're telling yourself in your mind. So we're going to change those thoughts, write those down, dig deep, go into some core, digging in some roots, and then we're going to map out that strategy and put it down in writing so that you can move forward in your commitment to overcoming your struggles. And that's what the Struggle Strategy Academy is. It helps you to figure out where your struggle is in your life specifically. And this is just like, although it may be overall struggle, everybody's struggling, but everybody has their own individual particular struggles. So with the academy, you're able to dig deep within yourself. So the program is not one size fits all, but although the components of it are for everybody, you just apply it specifically for yourself. And from there, you overcome your struggle and you get the map and the blueprint. And just because you take the 5-week course or the boot camp doesn't mean that you're automatic. And some of you may just automatically overcome the struggle. Others, that's what the blueprint is for, so that you can walk in that path and eventually and ultimately transform your life so that you can do this on an everyday basis and then start manifesting those things that your heart truly desires. So that's pretty much what the objectives are. This boot camp is definitely to bring clarity to tough situations so that you can make more informed decisions for your life. So that's pretty much what I have for you today in this video, and I will see you in the next.